Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Thanks for joining. You guys, all of you, thanks for making time on for most of us, I think, snowy winter morning. Will you find a comfortable seat? Let's get started with some breathing. I'm really looking forward to this practice. My body needs it. I'm sure yours does too. And I want to just focus this morning on this idea of facing our fears. And I know that doesn't sound like a big inspiring, woo, let's face our fears this morning. Um, but I want to tell you why I'm thinking this. So, first of all, I know a lot of you on this screen. I think I know a little bit about everyone. And I know, the stories of you facing your fears and the things that you've overcome and that you are overcoming right now. Um, I know that some of us hold like more subtle fears. It's not like the fear of heights, but the fear of speaking up and being heard, or the fear of doing it right or not doing it wrong, right, Gail? The fear of looking bad or not looking good, the fear of not being accepted or belonging. So I just want to share with you that today's Veterans Day, and we are going to honor our veterans in this practice. And my baby brother is a veteran, and he and I probably are the most two different types of personalities you can imagine, like on the both ends of, take 2020 and the political climate, and he and I are about as far apart as two people can be. And we've had some exchanges on Facebook that I have felt like were pretty healthy, but we disagree a lot. So I called him this morning to just say, I'm thinking of you on Veterans Day. And I was so afraid to dial that phone. And I felt fear. To call my own baby brother, I felt knots in my stomach, tightness in my heart. My throat was I just was afraid. I didn't know if he would even pick up the phone or what he would say or how it would go. Well, of course, guess what? It was the most amazing conversation. And we laughed and we talked and we agreed and we disagreed and we said, I love you. And he said to me that our exchanges on Facebook have taught him more than anything he thinks in like this whole crazy year. And who knew, right? Until we talk face to face and face our fears and dial a phone. Just wanted to share that with you and maybe plant a seed of something similar in your life that you could consider taking on today. Okay. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Feel your sitting bones root into the earth and sit tall. One of the best physical things we can do when we feel fear is lean into it. Stick our chest up and open our collarbones and literally lean forward as opposed to shrinking back. So will you take that posture right now, just that leaning in posture, and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and open your mouth to exhale. Let your breath be audible. Deep breath in. Do that with me one more time. Deep breath in. Beautiful. Let your hands find their way to your low back and place your hands on your low back, fingers pointing down. So you feel some support there, a little light pressure. And now breathe into your hands. Breathe into your low back. Feel that low back expanding, stretching. And as you exhale, just feel a softening. And again, breathe into your lowest parts of your back. And release. And do that one more time. Big breath into the back. Awesome. Allow your hands to reach up overhead, stretch tall, fingertips toward the ceiling, and then just work yourself from side to side like you're climbing a rope. Start to put in some gentle side to side movement with your breath. Maybe exaggerate that stretch, that reach. And then reach up even higher, stretch your whole spine tall as your hands meet. Draw your hands back toward your chest and pause here. If you would like, you can set an intention for this time on your mat. What brought you here, or what do you hope to leave with? So with the hands here at the chest, you can open your eyes and we're going to start to twist toward the right side. So just take a twist to your right. And when your torso stops, open up your hands so that your palms are flat, your fingertips are touching. Pull your right elbow back, and you're going to feel that right scapula hug onto your spine. Pull your left hand forward. It might even cover the right. Now you're opening the left shoulder blade. Go a little farther. Walk the right back, follow it with the left. And just pause right there to see what's happening in your upper back. You can start to let the right hand fall to the floor behind you and the left hand come across to a knee, pressing into even more twist here. Let your head go all the way back as far as it's comfortable. And then come back to center. Bring your hands back to your heart. Notice your left side. Notice your right side. And we'll go to the left. So begin the twist with the muscles of your torso. Good. And then turn your palms down. Fingertips stay together. Pull the left shoulder and elbow back and chase that hand with the right. You might go a little farther. Left goes back, right goes back. Then set that left hand down behind you. Your right hand can come to your knee. Breathe here, tall spine. The chest lifts a little. As you exhale, turn all the way back, twist. And return yourself to center. Let's roll the shoulders out a little bit, and then we'll start to find our way around into child's pose. Come into a wide-legged child's pose where your head can be on the floor or maybe a block. And wiggle around a little bit here. See what you can do to get really comfortable here. Deep breath in through your nose and out. Good. And then spread your fingers a little wider. Tuck your toes and start to rise up into a downward facing dog. And let's take a moment here to just wiggle around, to pedal the heels, to feel the back of the body waking up and stretching. You might open and close your mouth, releasing your jaw. Let your head just dangle there. And lift all the way up onto your tippy toes. Stretch underneath your toes. Put a big bend in your knees. The knees come almost to the mat. Keeping your knees bent, press into your hands. Reach your hips backwards. And then slowly lower your heels, allowing the legs to straighten. And then pick your toes up off the floor so the heels get even closer. We'll do that again. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, press up and back. And exhale, drop your heels, lift your toes. So one more time, moving into the back body. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees, press your hips back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a slow walk to the top of your mat. One foot in front of the other, knees can stay soft. And let's find ourselves here in ragdoll. You can feel your belly touching the top of your thighs, knees bent. Just gonna wiggle yourself down a little bit more here. Notice a sigh. This feeling of arriving here in your own footprints. Here in your body with your breath. Pressing hands to shins, lift and lengthen halfway. Just feel some strength in your back here. And then on the exhale, slide your hands down behind your heels and pull into a little deeper stretch. Let's do that a couple more times. Press to lengthen, feel the strength. Exhale, pull into your stretch. Press and lengthen. Pull and stretch. The next time you come to that flat back, keep your spine long, hands come to hips. Let's rise up, standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet right under you, feel those solid footprints, and let's reach the arms high. As we exhale, gather the hands to the heart, sink into chair pose. We'll do that with breath, movement, lift, and lower. And let's start to turn on an Ujjayi breath here, friends. Let's start to create some heat from the inside. Go 2 more times, flowing chair, low belly hugs in to support your spine. We'll go 1 more time, reach high, exhale down into chair, hands, heart center. We'll create a twist here. So on the inhale, lengthen your spine, exhale, rotate to the right side. Top hand presses into bottom hand. Feel your belly pull in as that breath goes out. Come back to center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Feeling that movement in your belly expand and contract. And then let's come back to center. Scoop the arms down and all the way up, extended mountain. Pause here with arms overhead. And since we're looking at facing our fears this morning, we're going to play a lot with balance. So let's start by pressing into the right foot and just lift your left knee. If your balance is challenged for any reason, you're welcome to be close to a wall or a chair, because we'll do a lot of these balances today. Let's turn that knee out, cross the foot over the standing leg. Hands come to heart center, and we'll sink down into this standing pigeon stretch. Breathe here. And just inhale, reach tall, draw the knee up. And then lower down, mountain pose. Feel both legs beneath you. We'll go on the other side. Arms reach, right knee comes up. Pause to find your balance. Good. Start to open up that knee. Find your figure 4, hands to heart, sinking down into a one-legged chair. Standing pigeon. Noticing breath. And release, fingers high, knee comes up. And back to mountain pose. Finding solid footprints beneath you, arms reach, sink down into chair pose, Utkatasana. So we're hinged from the hips and we want this really long spine. If this creates strain for your back, bring your hands down closer to your torso, maybe at the heart. I'm going to invite you to come up onto your toes. And just, it's kind of like standing on the edge, looking over. A precarious position here. If you'd like to get a little more brave, let your arms start to come behind you, chest forward. This is called drinking bird. Up on your toes, chest leaning forward, looking over the edge. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Notice what your body feels here. And then lower your heels. Reach high. Fold forward. Scoop up the arms. Reach high. Fold forward. Do that a couple more times. Just let your body flow with your breath. Beautiful, you guys. 2 more of those. Reach high. Big exhale, fold low. And the next time your arms come down, press your hands to your shins, lift halfway. From here, start to lift again up onto your toes. And press on your shins, lengthen your spine, breathe. Looking over the edge. Also strengthening our feet. And lower the hands to the earth. Planting your hands down, walk back into downward facing dog. Maybe a great big exhale there. Awesome, everybody. Shifting forward into plank pose. Hug your abdominals in. And as you exhale, pick up your right foot, feel those glutes. And exhale, draw the knee toward the chin. We're going to do that a few times. Right leg lifts. Come in. Right leg lifts. Come in and set the foot down between your thumbs. Building heat. Let's drop the back knee, arms reach high, kneeling lunge. Breathe here. And then release your hands to the earth, tucking the back toes, down dog, sweep the right leg all the way up. Give it a nice big shake. Toes, ankle, knee, moving. And coming back to downward facing dog, let's shift forward, find plank pose, low belly strong. Pick up your left leg. Exhale and tuck 3 times with breath. And on the third, step the foot, top of the mat, drop your knee. Lifting up into kneeling lunge. Feeling length in the front of your body. And releasing hands to the earth. Tucking our back toes, step again into forward fold. Pressing hands to shins, lengthening the spine. Put a soft bend in the knees and lift your heels. Looking over the edge. If you'd like, you can float your arms again to your sides, drinking bird. Squeeze shoulders on your back. And then lower your heels. Press again to lengthen the spine. Grab the back of the heels. Pull yourself deeper. Let's do 2 more of those. You should be noticing hamstrings are getting longer now. One more time, friends. Lengthen and pull down. Placing hands to the mat, let's step back again, downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank pose. Pick up the right hip, right leg. Use your right glute. On the exhale, cross the body. Step knee to the left elbow. Lift and cross. Heat. And then stepping that foot between our thumbs. This time we'll stay on the back toes, lifting to high lunge. So beautiful, friends. Keep that right knee over the right ankle. If you'd like a little more, take a hold of your left wrist and stretch that left side longer. Breathe into your body. Underneath your skin. And with hands at heart center, let's shift into our twist. So another twist here, forward and then to the right. Top hand presses bottom hand. If you'd like to explore more, you can raise the top arm, maybe extend the bottom arm. And returning to center, plant the hands onto the earth. Downward facing dog. And then coming into plank pose, we'll raise our left leg. Hug through the core. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Keeping our heat. Stepping that foot to the top of the mat. Good. Let's keep the toes tucked under, reaching up, high lunge. Everybody breathe here. It's okay to make noise, to sigh, or purr, or groan. Take a hold of your right wrist and stretch. Feel your body lengthening, your presence expanding. And coming back to center, hands to heart, shift and twist. Good. So yeah, beautiful. Gail, you're going to the left. So top hand presses bottom hand. You can stay here or spread your wings. Fly. Gail, go the other way. Look to your left, Gigi. There you go. That's it. Beautiful. Awesome, everybody. Hands come back to center. Unwind. Downward facing dog. Shifting forward, everyone, into plank pose. Let's drop our knees to the mat. Finding a strong, strong core here. Yogi push-ups. Just facing our fears of doing hard things. Noticing resistance. I know some of you are athletes, so maybe you embrace the hard work. We'll do 2 more. And on the next exhale, lower your belly to the earth and come up into either cobra or rise to the tops of your feet, upward facing dog. Your choice. Whichever you've chosen, make your spine long, pull your heart forward, step in, lean in with your heart in front. And exhale back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, let's let the right leg come up high. And we'll exhale to step that foot between our thumbs. Back foot turns open, reaching up, warrior one. Good. We're going to fly the arms behind again, opening up the chest. So let's lead here with the chest and collarbones, just leaning in. And then come forward over that right leg to a flat back. Keeping the body exactly as it is, bring your hands in front of your heart and just twist a little bit to the right. So the hand can come to the knee, right hand on the back, the left elbow can come to the knee, but the back foot stays in warrior one pose or shape, and so might be a little less of a twist than what we had earlier. Breathe here. And coming back to the center, rise up, let your arms come behind you again and create a little back bend there. I have sweat dripping. I don't know if it's hotter in here or harder today. What do you think, friends? Reach your arms high, nice big deep breath in. And exhale to the ground, downward facing dog. You're welcome to take a vinyasa here between the sides if you like. And when you feel ready, let's raise the left leg and let's step between our thumbs. The back heel drops, warrior one. Beautiful. Really nice, everyone. Find the foundation of your feet, and then let's let the arms come behind us. Lean in with your heart, shoulder blades on your back, and start to move from the hips, coming over that front leg, squeezing the shoulder blades tightly onto the back. Keep your spine long. Awesome, and then hands to heart. As you rotate left, start small. It might be just the tiniest movement, maybe a hand to knee, hand to hip. If that elbow wants to touch the knee, you can come a little farther. Twisting warrior is a really tricky pose. That back foot is still flat. It's kind of restraining us. Lengthen your spine, wring out your torso. Make some noise with your breath. Perfect. Come back to center. Let your arms reach behind you. Find a little back bend reset here. And release the arms up and back to the earth. Downward facing dog. Option to take a vinyasa. It is Warrior Wednesday, so let's come into our warrior sequence. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, step through. Drop your back heel. Rise up, warrior one. Heel open, warrior two. Take a nice wide warrior stance. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Come up high, open that side body. Exhale, side angle. Let's bring the arm all the way overhead for extended side angle. Yes. Movement with breath. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side. If you want, you can bring your fingers to the floor for a little bigger shape. Go one more time. The biggest stretch back you can find in your body today. Exhale, hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Option to take vinyasa or stay right here. Your choice. If you're moving through vinyasa, you can be on your knees or your toes. And let's raise our left leg high, stepping through, reaching up, warrior one. Opening into two. Nice wide base. Your feet form your foundation. Reverse your warrior. Find your sides. Good. Exhale, come all the way over. How far can you reach over your head? Start to move with breath. Exaggerating these two extremes. The left side of your body, your feminine side. The right side of your body, your masculine side. The two dancing together here, yin and yang, perfectly balanced. One more time, the biggest breath, the biggest reach you can find here. Awesome. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can stay here or take a vinyasa. We're going to move into some hip opening. So let's start by stepping the right foot forward, turning the back heel out, down, come up to warrior one. I'm going to do it this way so I don't face away from you. Hands come to the crease of the hips. And we're going to start to move ourselves into pyramid pose. So you might bring that back foot forward just a bit. I'd like you to pull back on your right hip as your chest reaches forward. Come forward as far as you can and then just let your fingertips come to the floor in front of you. Lengthen through the crown of your head as your hip continues to press back. And then let's fold over that leg. Just surrender here. Forehead toward the shin. You might walk your fingers forward even more and pull your hip back. Breathing here. Coming to a flat back, bring your right hand to your hip, your tailbone, your sacrum, and start to peel open into a twist, twisting triangle. And keep the hand down or raise the arm up. It's a very intense posture around the hip. Breathe into your back the way we did at the beginning. Pull your breath into your back. Beautiful. Notice what's coming up. Be here. One more breath. Exhale. Start to walk your hands to the wide edge of your mat. Come into wide straddle and notice the difference between your right hip and your left. Allow yourself a sigh. Now turning toward your left foot, drop the back heel, come up warrior one, and we'll even all of that out. Hands at your hips and see if you can square those hips as that back foot comes in a little more narrow stance. So you only want your feet maybe 2.5 to 3 feet apart front to back, pretty narrow. And then go ahead and shift from your hips. So the key to the benefit of this pose is really finding the crease of this left hip and pushing back. You might even use your thumbs. As you reach forward, the fingertips can come to the earth. Lower down, forehead toward the shin. You can tuck your chin to your chest. This pose claims to benefit the thyroid gland. Press your hip back. Lengthen your spine. So in addition to stretching hamstrings, you're getting a lot more physical benefits here. Inversion. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. And let's raise up to a flat back, left hand to the hip, and start to peel your shoulders, your chest open. Good. You can keep a hand on the back or raise it to the ceiling. It doesn't matter. You might even come up with your right hand on a block or a chair near you. Good. Just for fun, turn as much as you can to look up toward the ceiling and take in a nice deep breath. Exhale, lower the hand to the mat. Step both feet back to downward facing dog and stay here or take a vinyasa, your choice. We're going to move into a juicy posture called pigeon. So on the inhale, raise your right leg high. Exhale, draw your knee to your right wrist. And we're going to be really careful with our knee. This is a common pose that causes strain in the knee joint. So you can put your hip up on a pillow or block. And I'd like you all to just try something for today. While we're upright here, let's pull that chest and rib cage forward. Tuck your back toes and glide your left knee back more. See if you can literally pick up your left knee and move it backwards more before you set your foot flat. Yeah. And then if you like, you can drop to elbows or all the way down, resting your head. So we have this amazing little part of our brain called the amygdala. And it's near our brain stem. It's in our reptilian brain, and its job is to sense danger. It's easily excitable. Its job is to prevent us from being chased, being killed by bears and mountain lions. But in our modern times, since most of us don't find ourselves in that situation much, it serves to alert us if a situation might be embarrassing to us, or if we might not be perfect or do something just the right way. The amygdala puts us on alert. And since our brain communicates so well with our body gets the message to be tense, to hold those fears, those threats. And our body doesn't know how to let go of them. It's a storage shed for memories and traumas and fears and past hurts. And they often show up here in our hips. So we be patient, compassionate with ourselves. Let's start to bring ourselves up and just pause in this upright position to feel the front of the hips, to breathe and notice what's here. As a transition, we're just going to sit on that hip and bring the back leg around and over. So it's upright like this. And then we'll just take a twist. Just take a twist around that top leg, left leg. You might feel things kind of still unraveling around the hips. Beautiful. Let's move to the other side. Let's just let the left knee be in front, the right leg snake its way back. Move around until you find a comfortable place for this knee. If that means padding or a block, go ahead and grab that. And then staying upright, pull the chest and the heart forward. Tuck the back toes and let's scoot that right knee back. And then set the top of the foot down. And stay upright or lower down, your choice. And just allow yourself to breathe deeply, to feel your hips. Notice the places that feel tight or tense, maybe angry, maybe tender. There's a really great book called The Body Keeps the Score. And in psychological terms, it talks about how all of our life is stored somewhere in our body, all the memories. Breathe deep and just walk softly on this ground. Find a place inside of you for tenderness, for self-care and compassion. The amygdala has served us well in the past and kept us safe many times. But it might be a little overactive. Feel your hips, breathe your breath, let a sigh out. And then we'll slowly lift up to fingertips, sit tall, pull your heart forward again. And then let's shift onto the left hip and bring the right leg around and over. As you twist to the right, let yourself make a sound like mmm. As we return to the center, let's extend the legs out long. You might need to turn around. I think I've got you kind of at the front of your mat, but let's extend the legs out long. And then with the arms in front of us, we'll do one more little core thing. Just having the core slow our descent to the floor. So just lower down as slowly as you can. Just pausing maybe with each exhale. Letting those core muscles do the work of deceleration. When your back finds the floor, let your head rest. Draw one knee into the chest, either one, doesn't matter. And we're just going to take that leg up for one final hamstring stretch. Flex and point your foot. Circle your ankle. Keeping that leg where it is, bend the other leg, bring it up so both legs are lifted. Flex and point your feet, circle your ankles, little gentle inversion. Draw your nose toward your knees. As you lower your head, let's lower that first leg to the floor, holding the other side up for a hamstring stretch, moving through your ankle. And both legs up once again. I'm going to end this practice in fish pose. Fish is a really great pose for the throat. So if we're thinking about having hard conversations, this is a great pose to spend some time in. Go ahead and place your hands on the earth, palms down, and rock so that your hips are on top of your hands. And then just let your legs teeter-totter down so that your elbows can really come under your body. Kind of wiggle, wiggle, and wedge. Chest lifted. And for some of us, this is a great place to stay. Just let your chin lift. If you'd like, though, slide your bottom back up onto your wrists, your forearms, and drop your head back. This is fish, Matsyasana. And it's a pose for communication, for expression. It opens up this beautiful channel between our heart and our throat that allows our words to come from our heart instead of our head. So it's a really great practice to do this before any important conversation or speech or presentation where you really want to communicate from your heart. Take a deep breath all the way up into your throat, your ribs, your collarbones. Open your mouth to exhale. Release your body down onto your back. And come into Shavasana. You might notice some tingling sensation in your whole body after fish pose. It's a very energizing posture. When you find your resting place, just close your eyes and follow your breath. Notice the very place breath enters your body. Watch where it goes next. And observe the place where the inhale starts to change and become an exhale. When your mind wanders, come back to following the pathway of your breath. Let this next inhale be a little bit deeper, a little bit slower, and allow the exhale to initiate some movement in your body. Any kind of movement. Intuitively stretching, moving, and breathing. Make your transition to a seat whatever you would like it to be. As you find your seat, I'm going to invite us to do this little breathing practice that we do with kids a lot in the schools. As you know, kids, like all of us, are struggling with a lot of anxiety, which is just a buildup of fear. We don't know what to do with it. So we're just going to open and close our hands with our breath. You can rest your hands down on your lap and just as softly as you can, inhale, open, and exhale, close as I read to you the words of Rumi. He says, your hand opens and closes and opens and closes. If it were always a fist or always stretched open, you would be paralyzed. Your deepest present is in every small contracting and expanding, the two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. We expand and we open ourselves, which might be scary, and then we contract and we come back into safety. And again, we expand, we try something new, and we come back home to safety. We step out of our comfort zone a little, we take a risk, we can always come back home. Allow those two beautiful hands to come together at heart center in a moment of gratitude for yourself, for each other, and for the practice of yoga and how it helps to remind us who we are. Namaste.